But last year, ads went crazy. And I just thought to myself, like, I don't need to do this. I don't need to pay $20 a lead. This is nuts. We got to figure out this organic situation.
Do you ever come across a coaching program and wonder how they sold it, why they built it, and what life looks for them day to day? From that very first client to the 10th, 100th, and 1000th client, I want to know all the details. I'm Michelle Rockwood, and I teach life coaches how to sell their coaching for thousands, without scripts and with your entire heart and soul. Join me as we deep dive behind the scenes into some of the world's most successful coaches, from 25,000 to 25 million and everywhere in between.
I am so excited to introduce you to Jodi Rumack, who is the go-to for group coaching. She actually found me through a direct message about a year ago.
I did.
We've been connecting, networking, and working together ever since. Yes. If you want to know anything about group coaching, how to start group coaching, and how to bring on clients, she is an amazing resource. Jodi, I'm so happy to have you here today.
Thank you so much. I'm so happy to be here.
Jodi, let's just dive right in. I was so attracted to you because I love the way you attract clients into your group coaching program.
Thank you.
And I want you to share later how clients know when they're ready for group coaching.
Okay.
But first off, tell me about this Mastermind and Mojitos event that you do to bring clients in.
This event is essentially like a virtual dinner party. That's how you can think of it. So when we started this business, I actually started it with my best friend, and it started because we were hosting curated in-person dinners. And at the time, we had no idea we were going to build a business. We were just wanting to connect with people, to meet amazing people, to bring them together. Like, that's all it was. And we did them monthly for about a year and a half. And then the pandemic hit. And we had decided maybe a few months before that, we were going to turn this into a business. So when that happened, we had to pivot, everyone's favorite word. And we ended up going online. So we continued to just host them and turn it into Mastermind and Mojitos. So everyone comes and hangs out and gets to mastermind about their business a little bit, but also connect personally. And there's no pitch and there's no anything like that. It's just come and connect and have a great time. And then we continue to build the relationships over time. And then when people are ready, they join us.
Awesome. So I was just able to attend one of these events for the first time.
Yes. So good to have you.
Yeah, it was so much fun. And the connections I made there, now I'm reaching out to people, we're connecting.
Awesome.
I'm referring people to them and vice versa. But I want to set the stage a little bit for everyone. So you send out an Evite, you curate a group of people for this event that are of different modalities, right? Like I'm a sales coach, another person was a writing coach, another one was in marketing and PR. And there weren't too many people. And I think that was the key too. It was like, it was intimate, but big enough.
Yes.
I can't remember, maybe 12 people.
Yep.
Yeah,
exactly.
And so then what did you do? You invited us to the event and we got on. Remind me of what we did.
Okay. So the way we usually do it is we do intros through the chat because we don't want to spend 20 minutes with everybody doing individual intros. So everyone introduces themselves in the chat and everyone kind of read like who each other is. And then we usually do some questions and we do breakout rooms. So we always start with the more personal questions. So it could be something like, I don't know, like, what's your favorite movie? Or it could be, you know, if you were going to host a TED Talk, what would it be about? So a little bit more personal style questions, or it might say something like, you know, what's your relationship with your best friend like? Whatever. And so it kind of breaks down the barriers, right? And then we go into breakout rooms. Everyone is kind of organized automatically. And everyone gets to kind of chat and hang out and discuss. And then we come back and we do 3 or 4 of those throughout the night. So we start with personal and then we end in business so that people get to talk about their business and what they do and make suggestions and help each other and all of that. And then we usually wrap up with a Q&A at the end. so that as the coach, I get a chance to be seen as the expert and to support everybody, right? So there is that business side of it, but without the pitch and without the sale and without all of that stuff. So wrap up with a Q&A. And then usually I like to do like takeaways, what people like learned or who they met or something like that. And then off they go. But after the event, we have a 60-day follow-up system.
Okay. So I want to know more details about that, but this isn't just fun for you, right? I mean, obviously this is fun. This feels great, but this has built a serious business for you where you help folks with group coaching. So can you tell us a little bit about the program that you deliver and how you serve clients?
Yeah. So it's just so funny that something we loved to do and came so naturally and easily for us. Lisa is my best friend. That's who we started this with. It's just me now. But, when we started this, it was really just out of genuine, desire to connect people. And so now through this, I've been able to build a multi-six-figure business and, people are just coming through it naturally, right? And so when they come into the program, primarily now we're working with people who are trying to move from one-to-one. So they're basically at a point where they have too many clients, they can't take it all on, they need to leverage their time, they don't want to be working 50-hour weeks, all of that kind of stuff, and leveraging the one-to-one into a group. That's like the main type of coach that we work with. So that we can help them get their time back and really work on the business instead of in the business. And it's called the time freedom method. So it's like the group coaching combined with scaling with a team. That's a huge part of it, and planning and productivity. So those are like the three pillars that go into the method that we use.
How does somebody know that they're ready for group coaching?
Okay. So as far as the client piece of it, you can start group coaching right away. So you don't have to do one-on-one first and then transition. Like that is a myth. We're debunking it right now. Okay. Yeah, you do not need to start with one-to-one. So the way that we structure it and the way that we teach people to structure it is that we do a rolling enrollment scenario where it's not like I have to get 15 people into this program for the next 12 weeks and that's who I'm taking. And then I have no one else until 3 months from now, right? We teach rolling enrollment, which means when you start your group program, even if you start with 1 or 2 people, lucky them. They're paying group rates. They're getting 1-to-1 or 2-to-1 attention. And then you're going to continue to roll people into the program as you connect with them and as you meet them, because that allows us to start with fewer people and build the program kind of as you go, if that makes sense.
Are you actually helping them build a curriculum for their program?
No. So they, if people have questions about how to organize it and stuff like that, yes. But we're expecting when people come to work with us as a coach that they are confident that they can get their people results and they know their own material. So I wouldn't help them, with the content per se, but maybe the structure in terms of, how many modules or how many pillars should I have or things like that.
Okay. Awesome. Yes. Okay. So not only are you hosting these events and how are you meeting people in the first place to invite them to these events?
Great question. So we are connecting with people on Facebook primarily. So, the number one rule that we have is only connect with people who we are genuinely interested in getting to know. So there's no connect with every single person that you see and hope one of them becomes your client. No. We want to make sure that we are genuinely interested in them before we even think about whether they could be the right fit for us, right? So we connect with them that way. We invite people into our Facebook group. Maybe we're sending them a message to just say, hey, it's great to connect with you. And that usually rolls into a dinner invitation if we feel like there's a good fit and if they fit with the group that we're curating for the upcoming event.
And you're pretty systematic about this, aren't you? You have a spreadsheet, you have a plan that you're following. Yes, you're smiling. Go, tell me more.
Yes, it's don't tell all my secrets. But yeah, you have to, right? There has to be a system. There has to be a structure for how you do things, because if you don't have it, how in the world are you ever going to continue to repeat it to get clients on a regular basis, right? So at this point, yes, there's a structure. So the DMs is casual. We're connecting with people that we're genuinely interested in. That's all, authentic. It's all authentic. And from there, when we meet the right people, we invite them into dinner. And then there is a system for after dinner, how we follow up, sending an email, the next day, connecting everybody, following up 2 days later, 6 days later, 12 days later, whatever it is, right? And we do it in different ways. Sometimes we send like a small gift. Sometimes we'll do like a video message. Sometimes it's just engaging on their profile, but everything is to build the relationship. And then, like I said, eventually, if they feel so called, then if they're looking to go to group coaching, then hopefully we're their choice.
And you teach this entire system. Like, we don't have to take notes right now, right? When we work with you teach this step by step.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Awesome. Jodi, what I really want people to hear, if it's true, is that this is not just for business coaches. And I'm imagining somebody who, let's say you're a personal trainer, you invite your training clients to an event like this, have them connect with each other in the community, right? Moms listening, I know you're working. I know there's tons of women in your neighborhood.
Yes.
And then you introduce your group coaching program, perhaps as a fitness instructor, right? Where you bring people in. I know you have a background in fitness, Jodi, that I want to know more about.
I do.
Yeah. So tell me more. This is not just for business coaches.
Absolutely not. This is for any coach. So the one difference that I will say is, if you're a coach who is working B2B, business to business, then you are going to run a model like what I just went through. If you are a business to consumer, like a fitness coach, for example, probably you're going to include about a 10 to 15 minute workshop style piece of content at the beginning of your event to sort of set the stage, right? And to talk about the things that are important, because when you're doing B2B, you have entrepreneurs who are there. That's what it is. Those people are looking to connect, to meet other people. You don't necessarily need the content piece.
Got it.
But when you're doing B2C, I usually include like a 10 to 15 minute workshop style content piece at the beginning to like set the stage, teach them something, give them something to be talking about.
Now, Jodi, I remember you had dabbled in Facebook ads, or sometimes you'll turn them on, pull in some leads, then kind of network there. Are you still doing that?
No, we honestly, okay. So this is my second business. I started a different one. I was a fitness business coach, only fitness businesses for brick and mortars, not online. I was online, but they were brick and mortar back in 2013. And throughout that business, I primarily ran ads. But last year, ads went crazy. And I just thought to myself, like, I don't need to do this. I don't need to pay $20 a lead. This is nuts. We got to figure out this organic situation, right? Which I never really did before, to be honest. But the organic really fit with how we did the curated dinner events in the first place. And so we just changed our strategy and we moved everything to organic. So I don't even do any ads anymore.
Awesome. And I love how you're highlighting here that organic doesn't mean hope for the best. It doesn't mean put up a Facebook post, cross your fingers and go, oh my God, why aren't people buying?
Right.
So talk to me a little bit more about the specifics of your organic strategy.
Yeah. So, we're always learning, right? And I think that's such an important thing for everyone who's listening to know. It's like, you're always refining, you're always learning, you're always, it doesn't mean jump around from strategy to strategy. That's not what I'm saying. But we do need to be aware of what we're doing, and we do need to be tracking what we're doing and being able to recognize what is working, what isn't working. So one of the things, for example, that we've learned in the last 6 months is that the organic posts that are more personal rather than directly about business stuff, business content, the things that are a lot more personal are getting way more engagement. So even though, so I'll give you a perfect example is, I posted one about moving. I just moved into a new house in January and I did a post about that. And it wasn't about business. I mean, a little bit was about my journey and stuff like that, but it wasn't like I'm teaching you how to do these 3 things, right? It was a post about my journey and about myself and what I was doing and the growth and all of that, with the culmination being I moved into this house. And I can't remember the number. It was probably something like 300 likes. We got all this engagement, all these comments from all these people who I really don't know, right? I've connected with them on Facebook. But from that, and from the comments that they made, or sharing their story, or saying, that happened to me too, or I got to do this, or whatever, it gave us a point of connection. So instead of it being these random messages, cookie cutter, cut and paste situation, it's not that now. It's like people who've actually reached out to you in some way. And even just a simple message, say, hey, like, thanks so much for jumping into that post. Like, I'm so happy that it resonated with you. I'm so happy to see that, you also were able to do whatever it was for them, So then it's like building the relationships, and it's not just this cookie cutter message that everyone is getting.
What I love about you and everything that you do is, I mean, it's really similar to how I teach sales.
Yeah.
And that's, if you come to the sales call with the intention of a yes, you're going to get a no. Right. And so your intention, yes. Right? It must be so genuine and 100%. So pure. And that's why I love working with non-salesy coaches, right? Because they don't want to sell. They're like genuinely interested. They genuinely give a shit about other human beings and
absolutely
what's going on.
And that's what makes it fun though.
Yes.
Like, we can't, even though it's business, and even though we're tracking it, and even though we're trying to see what the patterns are, like, yes, we're doing all that stuff, because you don't get to six figures unless you do, sorry. Like, that's not how it works. So yes, we're doing all those things, but at the same time, like, just like you're saying in the sales call, it's the same thing in your messaging. If you're going in with this intention of selling, like, it's not going to come off right. If you go in because you're having fun and because you actually want to learn about these people, and you're not even thinking about whether they're becoming your client or not, like, that's not what's important right now. It just makes it a lot more enjoyable to do as well.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Hey there, my heart-centered coaching friends. As a sales coach, the most common question I get is, how do I overcome the money objection? And I get it. Helping clients understand the value of your coaching takes practice. So, in response to your request, I created a super amazing mini training just for you. But it's not what you think. It's going to forever change how you look at objections and buying questions. I've even created a cheat sheet just for you to help you set the stage for a yes before you even say hello. Head on over to michellerockwood.com/sales and grab it today.
So now I'm kind of stuck in my mind, to be honest, about clients and their readiness for doing group coaching. Come on, you've had to have some one-on-one coaching client before you go into grouping, right? Like you've had people go straight to group coaching.
Yeah.
Even
you
if
don't have to.
Like, what are they coaching on, for example? Because I'm trying to think, like, some of the skills that you learn doing one-on-one, like managing, just managing people, right? Responding to them. And you're saying you can just learn it in real time in a group. Yeah.
I mean, if I had a preference, you probably would do one-on-one first, but you don't have to. Like, if I have a client, I mean, now all my clients do group coaching, so they know that's what they're doing. But even in the past, like, if I had someone come to me that says, hey, I want to start this coaching program, but I don't have time to be on calls all day long. I don't have time to do one-on-ones with people all the time because my schedule is X, Y, or Z. Like, I don't want people to think they cannot start with group. You can, especially if, sorry, I know you're ready to like say something too, but especially if they have some kind of a background where maybe they did group stuff before. Like for me, and I know we'll probably get into this, but in my corporate life, I was basically doing group coaching, right? I was running a team of 13 clubs, 100 trainers underneath me, but I had 13 managers who I had to coach every single day. So I already had experience coaching in group. So for me to go into group made sense. So does it make sense for everybody? No, but is it an option if that's what makes sense in your life with your skill set? Like, yes, absolutely.
You're so right. And it's just this mindset shift, because once we're told something hundreds of times, it's hard for me to even break it, right? In this conversation, go, oh no, you have to do group coaching first. But you know what? We've all come with that background. So, I mean, you don't even need to have managed a huge team, or have this, you've managed kids, or you've had tons of clients if you're a personal trainer, right? Or a mom's group, or some sort of management in your life. Yeah. You can get up.
Your skills are transferable.
Yes,
you
absolutely. They totally are.
You got it.
So talk to me about your background. Now you used to, tell me what you did before this.
Okay. So, I went to school for kinesiology. I came out, I was a personal trainer. I did that for probably 2 or 3 years. And then I was on like the management corporate, track. And I ended up being a fitness manager. So I managed my own team within the club. I ended up opening clubs all across the country with the biggest fitness corporation in Canada. So I used to travel literally from Halifax to Victoria, opening clubs, running their personal training teams, doing all the hiring, setting them up, teaching them how to sell, all of that good stuff. And then I ended up, as I just said, being a regional manager. So I had 13 clubs of my own, 100 trainers on that team. And then when I left there, I started doing fitness business coaching online. So I was working with brick and mortar businesses, and I had a little stint where I actually worked for my coach from then. I ended up working in her business as the head coach online, teaching people how to go online. And then finally went back on my own about 2 years ago.
Tell me how your business is growing and how you're starting to hire now.
Yeah. So I am like a lean and mean kind of person. I'm not looking to have a massive team. So right now there are just 2 of us who are, regular people in the business. I do work with a designer, and I have someone who does tech, and I have, people that if I need them, they'll jump in. But there are 2 of us. So it's just me and Jen, who I call a connector, and she's also program director. So she does anything to do with the clients, basically. She does all of the connecting on Facebook. She does the messaging. She's the one who's connecting with people first before they kind of get to me. And then she also helps take care of the clients inside the program. So there's her. And then I have one coach, a mindset coach, who works inside the program with my clients as well. So she's regular, but maybe only a couple hours a month type of thing. And then as we grow, right now I'm still doing all my sales calls. But as we grow, I won't be, someone else will be doing it. And so that's kind of the next step for us.
Awesome. So exciting. And how many people do you typically have enrolled at one time?
Oh, good question. I would say about 25 or so right now. And then, the goal is to continue to grow that as well.
And how long is the program?
So the program is 6 months. And then if people want to continue and stay after that, they totally can.
Very cool. Jodi, everything you do is just I feel like you're I'm going to do what I want. You're like,
pretty much.
I don't think so. That doesn't sound good. Or I'm going to do that. And, and I even love just, so often people are like, hire. There's a headache with hiring people too. You have, you want to do it really systematically and thoughtfully. Yeah. And you want to know how to do it yourself first. I've really found you don't know how to do something and you try to hire somebody for it.
Agree.
You have no idea if they're any good at it, right?
Yeah. Yes. I mean, yes, they're for the things that are in your business, even though we're lean, I like to hire early, and probably earlier than most people would, because I believe in getting your time back, right? So we teach our clients to 2x their revenue and work 30 hours or less. And the only way to do that is outsourcing. But I 100% agree with you, on things that are in the business all the time, you do need to know how to do it. How long does it take you? What your results are before you pass it off to someone else. And then you have things like design, for example, someone like me, I'm not touching it. I'm horrible at it. I don't even want to look at it. Right. So then you hire someone who's going to be more expensive. They're going to be someone who is, they come project-based, you know what I mean? And then you can hire out for them to do things like that, but they do the project and then it's done.
So what's the first thing you might suggest somebody hires out in their business?
I would say the first thing would be what I would, probably talk about as a virtual assistant. Where that person is helping you with adding friends, they're doing admin stuff, they're maybe inviting people to your Facebook group. They're not doing the messaging part. That's a different role. Okay. That's not a virtual assistant anymore. That's a connector role or a setter, some people might call it. But someone who's doing repetitive tasks, the admin stuff, posting your social media, maybe they're doing some graphic design stuff, they have some templates, they can adjust it with colors and they can post it type of thing. But yeah, your basic admin type of stuff, your day-to-day tasks that take you a long time, that's probably the first thing I would outsource for sure.
Awesome. Love it. And how about your community in your program? Are people connecting and serving and helping each other? How strong is your community?
Some of my people have been with me over a year now. So they have they actually have a separate Instagram group where when they post, they all go and like and post for each other.
Oh, cool.
Yeah. So nothing to do with me. I didn't do it. I won't take credit this time. They went and set it up themselves. So yeah, the community is really awesome. My calls typically have, in the week, I see 90% of my clients. So whereas I know in groups I've been in before, people weren't really showing up. Maybe you got 30% or 40% of your clients coming throughout the week to calls. But I would say we get about 90% of our people come every week.
Awesome. No, it just speaks to the value that you're giving. Absolutely. 100%. Well, Jodi, this has been so cool. And there's just so many nuggets. We just jumped in and you gave it all to us. And I totally appreciate that.
Yeah.
Where can people find you and how can they get invited to your next Mastermind Mojito event?
Okay. So probably the easiest is honestly on Facebook. Just add me as a friend. And if you want to jump into the Facebook group, it's called the Time Freedom Society. And those are probably the two best places. If they want to come to the Mastermind Mojitos, just send me a message. Let me know. I'll put you on the list.
Awesome. Awesome. And your Facebook group, we didn't talk about that. So has this been a big source of clients as well?
Yeah. Facebook group is just a really great way to kind of create your own pond, right? It's like a really awesome place to put a group of people who are interested, who could be potential clients, to be able to reach them on an ongoing basis, right? You're providing, we do a live every single week, live training, just providing really great value and getting and helping people get to know you over time. And again, when they're ready, they're going to show up, right? So the combination of inviting to Mastermind Mojitos, inviting them to, come to watch a live, putting up the content that we do on a regular basis. Like when you put all the pieces together, that is what really helps bring the clients in. And I am not personally a huge fan of going into other people's groups, which I know a lot of people use as a strategy, but for me, I don't like it. It doesn't sit right for me. So to have your own group where you can be yourself and do your thing and connect with your people all the way, Facebook group all the way.
Love it. Love it. Have you figured out, I know this is really hard to pin down, your sales cycle, how long it takes from the time you meet someone on average to enroll in your program?
Such an interesting question. I actually don't know if I have an answer for that because it can happen. So it just depends where people are at when they meet you, we did a workshop this week. We did the workshop. I had a call with somebody the next day. I've never met her before. She's in, right? Sometimes that happens. Or I've had people who, when I was doing ads before, they saw the ad, they joined my group, they booked a call, they joined right away. And then others are coming in, we've done Mastermind Mojitos and they've come in 2 months later or 3 months later. And then some people are taking longer than that. So it's so hard to know. That's one thing that I probably don't have a hard and fast answer for because they've been all different. And I think it just depends where they're at when they come into your world.
It's so varied. And I think with coaching, that's something that, if you're selling a physical product, you can kind of track that a little bit more because it's not as nuanced. But with coaching, it's really, some people can follow us for 2 years. And they go, okay, today's the day.
And you have no idea, right? Sometimes you have no idea.
Other people 2 hours and you're like, here we go. Yeah. Amazing. Okay. So we can join your Facebook group. You also have an awesome freebie, don't you? I think I saw that on your website. I have a couple. So one is the designer group coaching offer.
That's probably the first one for everybody.
That's the one I wanted to be sure.
Okay, cool. Okay. So design your perfect group coaching. Yep. So there's that one. So I can definitely get you the link for that. Okay. And then the second step is the second step in the time freedom method, which is the one about scaling a team. So there's both of those.
Perfect. Okay. I will link both of those in the show notes.
Okay. I'll get those too.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for being here.
Yeah. You're so welcome.
It was hard to get you on, so I really appreciate it.
All good. Thank you so much for having me. It's always a great, pleasure and time to chat with you. And hopefully it was helpful for everybody who's listening.
Yeah, absolutely. Thanks so much, Jodi.
Hey, coaches. Thanks for listening. I hope you enjoyed that episode. If you like the show, I have 2 asks for you. 1, share the podcast with a coaching pal that could use support around sales. And secondly, leave a review in whatever app you're listening on. And if you'd like to learn more about selling your coaching unscripted, head to unscriptedsales.com or find me at Instagram at Michelle M. Rockwood. See you soon. Happy sales.